In this clip, I'm going to be talking about three main things. First, I would talk about dualism. Then I talk about duality, which are two very similar concepts. Then I will talk a little bit about Dao Lo as well. So let's start with dualism. So dualism refers to two concepts, which mean identities that appear to exist in opposition to each other. We are talking about two things that don't seem to go together but work together. When we take this into the media scene, a lot of companies use dualism techniques as a part of their advertisement. The first example was taken from a diamond company when they had a right hand ring campaign, which meaning they wanted to sell the they wanted people to buy the rings and wear it on the right hand, whereas normally people would wear the ring on the left hand. So the words that they used in their campaign was your left hand likes evening at home, your right hand loves a night out. So it communicates the message that well probably you should consider buying another ring for your right hand. And as you can see, these are the two things that don't really go together but work together. Another example was taken from Calvin Klein when they had a campaign as well. She's always and never the same. So this was also built on the concept of dualism and duality. When you are talking about two things that don't seem to go together, like she is always and she's never. So always and never, as you can see, there are not the two words that normally appear together, but in this advertisement, they appear together and they seem to work really well. Now, moving on to the concept of duality. The concept of duality is pretty similar to the concept of dualism. It actually talking about two things that do not seem to work together, but actually work together. Well, let's have a look at this example. This example of duality techniques in advertisement. And well, let me go back a little bit. So the concept of duality, when we bring it into the scene of media and gender, they are talking about the portrayal of one sex as having the characteristic of another sex as well. In this example, this is the example of Calvin Klein models. And I mean, if you have seen advertisement or poster or brochure from Calvin Klein, you would probably observe that they have a pretty static type of men that would model for them. In this picture, you would see a male model with a muscular build, with short hair, with tattoos, and those are masculine characteristics. However, in this picture, you can also see that there are feminine characteristics as well, and the feminine characteristics include the lack of hair, because men is normally associated with having a lot of hair, and this Calvin Klein model is also well groomed, no beard, no mustache at all, and the way that he looks at the camera, the way that he pose, it's also contains some of the female elements as well. Now let's start thinking a little bit. There are two questions that I want you to have a think about. The first one is, in what ways do media reflect upon, reinforce, or challenge definitions of society gender behaviors? And the second question is, can you identify different gender role norms across cultures? For example, how is masculinity framed in advertisement from around the globe? Have a think about these two questions, and I don't think you need, well, this is not compulsory and you don't need to post anything, but if you would like to share ideas and you want to exchange ideas with your friends or me, feel free to post it in the comment box. The last concept in this video is Dao Lo, and the concept of Dao Lo is it implies that men, and down low it's actually the concept that focuses on men. The concept of down low implies that men do not have access to identity multiplicity as much as women did, and instead suggesting that they are either feminine or masculine. I think one of the clear example of this is in societies where men who are gay have to hide their own identities of being gay, because I think being gay has some connotation of having feminine element in their uh, identities, and men are not in many places all around the world, they are not allowed to do that, and they have to actually hide their true identity as gay and portray themselves as being masculine, being strong, being independent, being logical, okay, when they are in societies or even when they are portrayed in the media. So that's the end of the third clip, and I will see you again in the last clip.